Hello and welcome to another InkDependence.com brief video review and water drop test. Today we've got Anderson Pen's Oskosh Denim. This is another one of the inks from that line that Anderson Pens had Scribble workshops do for them. So these are reformulated and remade Scribble workshops inks. So most of these are quite good. Some of them are a little bit dry. This one is unfortunately my least favorite of the bunch. I love a good blue, and the color on this one is pretty cool. You can see it coming down the walls there. This is the typical Anderson Pens vial. It came with a 3 milliliter sample they sent to me. Thanks very much to Brian and Lisa for that one. I tried this in a couple of pens. I used it in my Wall Eversharp Skyliner. It's the 50s edition. Let me go here and grab the thing out of the box. Here it is. That's this guy right here. And it has this flexible, well, semi-flexible anyway, nib. The problem I had with this ink in this pen is that it just would not go unless I started it by priming up the converter. So you can see this top bit here. This is done with that. It's kind of shaky looking because I was trying to, make it work. But it was so dry, or whatever was going on with it in that pen, it just wouldn't work for me. You can see I actually managed to get a bit of a writing sample there. But yeah, not great. So I tried it in this Custom 74. Everybody knows what one of those looks like, I think. I have one sitting around here, and I don't know where exactly it is. Anyway, it'll turn up. In any case, this is a much wetter nib, so it's going to have better flow. And you can see there, not a problem. No real hesitation on that one. No big deal. And the color, quite nice. You see quite a bit of shading. You see this on copy paper as well as this Rhodia paper. So that's cool. I've described it... Oops, sorry. I'm using my iPad to record this one. I'm not used to it. It's a little shaky cam. Sorry about that, kids. It's a little bit stingy, but once you get it going, it's just fine. It's not going to flood out of a nib, of course. So if you have a super wet nib, this ink might work real well for you. You need to tame it a little bit. It'll work well. So for me, that's this one, which is Kveiko Sport with the broad nib. That broad nib is real wet, so I'll use it in there maybe later on after I use up this cartridge. I forget what's even in there. I think it's Kveiko Sepia. Anyway, so get a wet nib for this one if you want to use it. It is a cool blue. It does approximate the look of denim, which is kind of this color here, sort of a dark and light blue mixed up together, some shading, that sort of thing. So that's cool. I'm into that. I've had a couple other denim inks, and the one from Franklin Christoph is pretty good. There's, I think, a diamine denim that's okay. This one looks a lot like denim. I do like the color a lot, but you need a real wet nib. I don't have a lot of those. Probably a good dip pen ink. I don't have any dip pen nibs. Well, I got nibs. Actually, my dad sent me nibs. He found them at a flea market. They look like this. But nonetheless, I don't really have a holder handy. Anyway, I haven't tried it. So try it out with a dip nib if you like. That's probably the best way to get this one going. You can see it here next to a lot of blues. I love blues, so I've always got a bunch of them inked up, it seems. Right now I've got it next to Robin's Egg, and I've got it next to Bluebonnet from the Drum Ghouls Noodlers collection. Pilot Blue, which is what came in a Plumix, I think. Kveiko's Royal Blue, which is kind of a purpley blue, and Salix. It's closest, I guess, to Salix, but really it's more of a... Well, it's a bluer blue, I think, than Salix is. Well, Salix goes down real blue, but turns this sort of... I don't know, matte color. Anyway, let's see what it does with water. I don't know that this is going to have any significant water resistance, but you never know. So let's try this out. Let me grab my blotting cloth here. Alright, so here we go. Spray a little bit of that on there. And, oh good, got some on the letter. Excellent. You can see here, I want to say I probably drew this with the Wall Eversharp nib, which is why it's got some skips and that sort of thing. It just did not behave at all on that nib. And the more you use fountain pens and inks, the more you'll notice that sometimes nibs and pens just don't get along. Alright, here we go. Just blot this away, blot, blot, blot. And it could have been worse. Here's the blotting paper. A lot of blue came up. That was blank before. So a lot of the blue came up, but you can still make out the lines and the dots. A lot of that T from that test has kind of gone away, but for a bit of a skippy ink drawing there, not too bad. So water resistance, nah, not really, but if you spill your coffee on it, it's not going to be completely gone, so that's cool. Alright, so this has been Anderson Pens Oshkosh Denim. Thanks again to Anderson Pens for sending this out for me to review. The rest of the inks in this set are quite good, if a little bit dry most of the time. Do check out the full reviews of all these inks. I'll have the rest of them up soon on inkdependence.com. And if you like what I do here at Ink Dependence, please don't hesitate to go over to patreon.com/inkdependence to find out how you can help support my efforts. Every little bit helps. Thanks very much, folks, and see you around. Word.